In April 1980, 6 gunmen stormed the Iranian embassy here, taking 26 hostages. The hostage takers were Iranian Arabs from the Democratic Revolutionary Front for the Liberation of Arabistan, an Arab separatist group from Iran's Khuzestan province, demanding autonomy for the region and the release of prisoners. For 6 tense days, negotiators and armed police faced off against the gunmen inside the embassy, while outside the police cordon at the end of Princes Street, the international press gathered and watched. The Islamic Revolution was barely a year old, and the regime of Ayatollah Khomeini faced challenges on multiple fronts, grappling with international isolation and sanctions resulting from the ongoing US Embassy hostage crisis in Tehran, the fallout of the abortive American attempt to rescue those hostages, known as Operation Eagle Claw, rising tensions with neighbouring Iraq, and armed resistance groups inside Iran challenging the fledgling regime. On the 5th of May 1980, after days of stalemate, the gunmen killed a hostage, Abbas Lavasani, the embassy's chief press officer, and dumped his body onto the street below. Minutes later, Britain's Special Air Service, or SAS, launched Operation Nimrod.
Who's that? Who's that? They've got masks on.
Blasting through windows with explosive charges, abseiling from the roof, and storming the building room by room.
They're shooting back.
The raid was broadcast live as it happened, with the BBC interrupting the televised final of the World Snooker Championships. It became one of the most iconic live news moments in British television history.
Firing from the road. 1, 2. the road. They're under there, look, they're still shooting at the building.
There are 3 people on the balcony at the moment, and smoke is coming out of the first floor windows. I can see flames there. There are flames, and there is a man who appears to be a gunman on the balcony, but it might be a policeman. All over, people are shouting, "Get out of the way," and crouching all over, the policemen behind the wagons. On the second floor, a white flag is being waved. You can only just see it from behind the pall of smoke there. There it is again, white flag being waved. In a scene that one never would have thought one would see in central London and in Kensington on Prince's Gate. And this is on a day in which one man, or at least one of the hostages, was shot and brought out of the embassy at about 7 o'clock this evening, or about 7:30, after 3 shots were heard in the embassy at 7 o'clock, and 3 other shots were heard earlier in the afternoon at about 2 o'clock. And ever since then, the scene here has been very, very tense indeed. A short while ago, the Deputy Assistant Commissioner, Peter Nevens, came out and he said the police have tried exceedingly hard to prevent this situation, and they are still trying. Only minutes after he said that, there were 2 very large explosions and several shots. This is the 6th day of the siege. The hostages had been in there now for something like 130 hours. It began early last week, or in the middle of last week.
There have been 2 further shots, and the police are now moving into a position where they can completely surround the building. The whole area now in front of the embassy has reached the tensest moment, because there has been a shot even after the white flag has appeared at the 2nd floor balcony, 2nd floor window. That white flag has been waved twice, but since then there have been further shots. So the area is still not secure. Police marksmen are now running in a crouching position away from the wagons that have been parked here for 6 days. There are now loads of policemen running to get into a surrounding position. Police are now moving out into Kensington Gardens, uniformed officers moving out into Kensington Gardens, surrounding the area of where the press marquee had been set up some days ago.
Okay.
The operation lasted just 17 minutes. 5 gunmen were killed and all but 1 hostage survived. The aftermath dominated headlines. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher praised the SAS.
Very proud of them. Very proud. Made one proud to be British.
Do you think it's the best way we could have done it?
Yes, indeed.
The unit's commander called it a textbook operation. The Iranian embassy, damaged by a fire resulting from the raid, would not reopen until 1993.